Hello, Loretta. How are you?
Good. What's your question?
And hello to Guy. My question was almost answered entirely by
The first one.
regarding the first one.
Yeah, Alan in Cairns, yep.
That's correct. Yeah. The subsequent question would be in re-establishment of the boundary. The cost would be having established that the original building up of the land next door went on without objection. It's now, as Alan said, it's now starting to collapse. The re-establishment of the survey points would be at joint expense or at the expense of the person who put the fill in. That would be the only remaining question.
So what you're really asking about is how can you be certain of where the actual boundary is?
Correct.
Okay. This is much more difficult than you might think. I'm involved in one with a property in Toowong, which has long been settled in Brisbane, but there's quite a bit of conjecture about where boundaries actually are, because the measurements are all fine, but the question is measuring from where, and you're always measuring from a particular datum point. But the only way to do it is to get a surveyor involved. A surveyor can do what's called a check survey, so they don't actually have to do a full-blown survey. They can do a check survey. They can take a fairly close datum point and measure from there and say, okay, your boundary is here. And that's some hundreds of dollars. I hope I'm not upsetting surveyors all around Brisbane, but it's not wildly expensive to do that light beer version of survey. So that might be the best way to do it. Who pays for it? You can approach your neighbour and say, why don't we jointly work out where this is? If that relationship's broken, you can theoretically go to QCAT and get an order, but it's probably going to cost you more than the check survey. So if I were you, I would get it as a peace of mind thing. It's kind of one of the first things that we always ask when we're talking to clients about this kind of stuff is, have you checked where this building, where this fence or where this retaining wall actually is? Because it's almost a jumping off point. If it's not on the boundary, then the rules are slightly different and the liabilities are slightly different. So it's just one of those things you're going to have to do as a cost of making sure that you're right before you open your mouth and start making demands of your neighbour. Sorry about that, but that's the best way to do it.
That's good.